What's the best band you've ever listened to? I'll give you a second. Well, that sucks. I don't care. Hello, I'm Caden. Today I'm here to talk about the best band ever formed in the history of bands, Susquatch. Now you're probably wondering what Susquatch even means, but we'll get to that later. First, let's start with how we got to that name in the first place, which was from the brilliant mind of Kenta Oshikiri. Kenta was fresh out of high school and was yearning for the life of an artist, and that would direct him to a music school in Tokyo, which would be his home for 2 years, and also where he would meet Maki Nakano. Not much is known about Maki, but Kenta would tell an interviewer his feelings on Maki during his time in music school. The first time we met, we didn't like each other. We had unpleasant impressions of each other because when she was 18 years old, her hair was close clipped, and I couldn't understand that. That didn't suit her, I thought. Maybe she was kinky. While Kenta was at a friend's show, he would get a sudden surprise when his friend forced him to play a show he wasn't prepared for, and Maki, being the only drummer he knew, reluctantly, he let her join the band, and thus formed Susquatch. After this show, Susquatch would release a demo a year later in 2003 under the title First Demo. The tracks include Tonsueo, Monochrome of Summer, Sin, Burning Route, and finally, Moist. Now, I won't talk about every Susquatch song in this video because that's not my goal, as you'll see later in the video. That being said, this album has a darker sound than the rest of Susquatch's albums. This is probably because Kenta was pulling much more from Bucktick than later albums. Bucktick is a punk rock band formed by Hisashi Yami. They're a big part of the Visual Kei movement, which looks something like this. Getting back on topic, the first demo shows what Susquatch is made of and also shows their very unique talent of not using any language. Kenta, instead of using English or Japanese, both languages he knows, he uses a strange mix of both to create just raw emotion with his voice. Like I said earlier, I won't be talking about every song, so I'm going to tell you about my favorite on this demo, Monochrome of Summer. This track immediately has a more upbeat sound to it, and I think this is due to the drumming. Maki has incredible speed and precision. Tracks that instantly come to mind when I think of Susquatch are the ones with really impressive drumming, like Spin the Words, Glass Marbles, and Awakening at Daybreak, but I'm getting ahead of myself talking about those tracks. The rest of the tracks on this demo are amazing in their own way, and I want to leave it up to you guys to go listen to the rest of it, along with In This World. Speaking of which, after a few more EPs and demos, we would get our first album, In This World, which has their most played songs on it, which is for very good reason. In This World is an incredible freshman album for Susquatch, and this album is an easy favorite child of the two albums, and I may have some personal bias in there, but shut up. Some of my personal favorite tracks are Glass Marbles, Return of Spring, Spin the Words, and Summer End. All the songs on this album turn into this explosive, energetic, and emotional, amazing first album, and I also really enjoy the vibe that this album gives off. It's a really strange dose of nostalgia, and I think it has to do something with Kenta not singing in English or Japanese. It's just a strange mix of both, but it makes every song unique. And the way he sings with this passion that you can hear make its way into every song, along with the way he plays guitar in the background, it's just magical. And that's my favorite thing about music, its ability to transcend the borders between people. I don't speak Japanese and never will, but it's amazing how Kenta can pull me into his songs without even needing to say a word that is coherent to any listeners, Japanese or English. Music is the universal language that everyone speaks, and Susquatch is incredibly fluent in it. Susquatch as a band has always been, in my eyes, about human emotion, and this is incredibly obvious with the song Ghost.
We are playing We are first time, so I was really scared. Too much nervous. But everybody, people, you guys very kindly. Thank you. Family song. It's next song is for my grandmother's song, but she's dead. 10 years ago, my favorite grandmother is dead. But I believe I can meet her again. I believe. So yeah, I think for you and your family, your favor. Please listen. Next song, Ghost.
When I first heard the story behind Ghost, I cried. I feel like everyone who has lost a family member can relate to the feeling of wanting to see them again but not being able to. And the mix of Kenta's broken English, obvious nervousness, and how open he is to tell the crowd the meaning behind the song just shows that this band has always been about emotion. Human emotion. Kenta even confirms the band's name was meant to cause a reaction and intrigue, and that's what it achieves. Susquatch pulls people into their songs without effort, without trying, because to be human is to be weird, and is to be interesting, and is to be made of emotion. And all of that makes Susquatch as a band. Their lyrics are gibberish and their songs don't make sense, but isn't that part of being human? Because being human doesn't make sense, but we make the world make sense, and we find a meaning. But not everyone has the same meaning, and that's what makes being human special, and that's what makes Susquatch special. This band is the best band, and I hope you can see why now. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe. This video took a while to make, and it got delayed a lot, but I'm happy that it got out. So, yeah, thank you for watching again, and please subscribe.